Welcome!
King Game Review.
This is our special episode.
Special.
We just got a partnership.
Special.
First partnership.
First partnership.
Hopefully not our last.
Yeah.
So we decided that we had to put together an actual, hard work, a real...
Put work into an episode.
Yeah, a real review, right?
Yeah, that's pretty rare, if, non-existent for us.
Yeah, I mean, we normally just do Let's Plays and just hang out, and that's it. So
yeah, we actually did work for this.
So, I mean, we've got... Look at these notes. All these notes. Alright, I gotta reorganize those. We were just debating, which games would best represent our channel. Mm-hmm. And, we came to the conclusion, there was only one obvious conclusion.
It was obvious.
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
The King Games.
Yeah.
Throw up that banner. Wow, pretty cool. I don't think that's around anymore, so maybe we can steal that and use that officially. Who knows?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, the Burger King games. There's 3 in total, so this is going to be our longest episode, I guess. And there's a reason for that. Not only just because we're doing 3 games, but we're doing the 2 different versions of each game, both the Xbox regular and the Xbox 360. Yes, this is what makes these games unique, is because they're the only games that are backwards compatible. You can play them on an Xbox regular as well as an Xbox 360, and there are differences between them, which we'll go into in the review. But that was pretty exciting. So let's talk about what are the history on these games here. I mean, we've got Burger King games. These aren't something that, you go and pick up on GameStop on launch day.
Right.
No.
Well, I picked them up on launch day.
Yeah, well, not at GameStop,
No, at
but
Burger King.
at Burger King. So you get these games back in 2006. Burger King was running a promotion. You buy a value meal, and for $3, was it?
I think if you got a value meal, you could pay an extra $3 and get one of these games.
So value meals probably around $6 US, euros.
I remember
£3 maybe.
I think I got the Junior Whopper value meal.
Yeah.
They made me get 3 value meals to get 3 games. So I went in one day, got 3 value meals, and got the 3 games, and it ended up costing me, I think, around $30
Yeah,
total.
So I was really hyped about it, and in fact, I got just one game because I was really skeptical. I was just well, I'm not really into racing, and I'm not really... What is Big Bumpin? I had no idea what it was, but I was wrong. So I just picked up the obvious one, Sneak King.
Obvious.
I love the play on words. Sneaking. If you didn't get it, now you do. But it's pretty interesting, how this came about, and... they're not that bad of games.
No, they're actually surprisingly not that bad.
And they're made by Blitz Games. We're going to find some...
And King Games.
Yes. I wonder if it's... Blitz Games was the developer, and King Games is the title of the series, maybe?
Publisher.
Each one came with instruction manuals. Yeah, in color, so you don't see that too often anymore. Give the gift of beef. The BK Crown Card. Pay now so you can eat later. I don't know if that's a gift card or... works like cash. It's an actual credit card. So there you go. Go into debt, need some burgers. So
yeah,
we're gonna get into this. It's gonna be a little bit longer than our normal episodes because we've already kind of stretched out this intro a little bit.
Yeah.
But we think this is hopefully going to be one of our better ones, and hopefully will set the standard for future reviews. So please give us some great feedback. What you liked, what you didn't like, what can go. Did we go on too long, etc. So.
Or grape feedback. Soda.
Thank you for watching. In 2006, the King Games series were developed by Blitz Games, which are also known for Glover, Zapper the Wicked Cricket, and a bunch of shovelware titles that you've probably never played, such as iCarly or whatever, Hannah Montana, Karaoke Revolution. The list goes on.
Well, they were also known for Fusion Frenzy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a launch title for the Xbox.
But specifically, the arcade division are the guys who are working on this version. They also have plans for upcoming Burger King games for the Kinect, yet no immediate announcements have been made. The Burger King character himself, the King, was an advertisement promotional character that went along with these creepy, somewhat weird, offbeat Burger King commercials where the king would be sneaking around in places only to end up handing off food to the people he is terrified.
I always liked those commercials a lot. Like, I thought they were really funny.
I think they set definitely a distinction between the king and his brand of humor versus Ronald McDonald's happy-go-lucky nature. The first game we chose to review out of the series was the most basic and fun one, I believe, was Big Bumpin'. It was the one that I initially passed over because I was like, what is this? Just another racing game? 2 racing games? I was dead wrong. In Big Bumpin', there are different attractions, somewhat like a theme park. For each one of the rides, there is an individual have it your way mode, which you can toggle the AI, the amount of pickups, the target score, and some other features depending on the event. In the create a character mode, there are preset characters of whom you can customize just basic attributes / palette swaps of the same characters.
So it's not really a custom
character. It's
character.
very limited, but it's still fun if you enjoy that kind of thing. So some of the characters are the Burger King himself, a Burger King worker, what is that chicken? The subservient chicken?
Yes.
We'll get more on that later.
Yeah, Brooke Burke. I don't know how she fits
Yeah,
into
Brooke
this.
Burke, who's a model / actress /
I don't
personality. I don't know much about her. There's also the Whopper Jr., who happens to be the most confusing character design I've seen, yet I still like him.
In the hockey game mode, there's a puck, and it's 2 versus 2 team gameplay mode, and you have to just hit the puck into the opposite player's goalie. It's basically the most simple, other than...
Make sure you don't get the puck in your own goal, though.
Right.
However, what sets this hockey apart are the power-ups. There are super speed, a magnet which brings the puck towards the player, and there's the weighted puck which makes the puck enlarged and slower and harder to hit. It's more of a nuisance than anything. In Power Surge mode, the object of the game is to grab the power on one side of the map and bring it back to the start. You have a limited health whenever you get the surge, so when other players bump you, they can eliminate you or prevent you from scoring. So the more health you bring from collecting the surge to the starting point gives you more points as you go.
You want to try to get over there as fast as possible without getting hit, and you get lots of points.
There's a couple of power-ups in this mode. The Force Field, which doesn't, I guess, it bounces off people from when they touch you, or it does more damage to that player. And the Health Sapper, which is kind of like that antenna with the electric bolt that saps away. Yeah.
Vampirism.
Yeah.
There's also a speed boost. Another game mode in Big Bumpin' is Last Man Standing, which is basically what it says, Last Man Standing. You try to knock everyone else's health out or knock them out of the ring.
I have to say, Last Man Standing is the best multiplayer experience you can have locally. I had so many great moments knocking my friends out into the rings or using the traps to kind of push them into. I also have to say that The Last Man Standing is one of those types of unique games that just gets strangely addicting, and you find yourself playing it. It's very quick, but it's fun. It reminds me a lot of Mario Party 2 when you're on top of that ice mountain, and you're walking on those balls, and then you knock people out.
Well, since this is made by the same company that made Fusion Frenzy, it's basically exactly like Sumo from Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Another mode is called Shock Ball, which is essentially like Hot Potato.
Yeah, basically.
The final mode of this game is the Own the Puck mode. So every second you touch the puck, so there's a puck laying there and it belongs to nobody. If you touch the puck, it turns the color of your character, and as long as it's that color, you get those points. So the object is to keep away from the enemy. So the one who has the most time touching the puck wins.
Yes.
As we mentioned, there are 5 different levels in this game, and each one looks like an amusement park attraction of some kind. They're really creative for such a small game.
Right, I was surprised about the art direction. Yeah.
The music is pretty awesome, too. I always like the Icebox's kind of little rap, hip-hop, kind of chill music. Kind of fits the theme. As far as level design goes, I really enjoyed the Boiler Room. It has the giant dragon on it. It's really intense, especially whenever you're playing the elimination matches. However, we have to say that there are 2 levels that really stand out. There's the Deep, which is the level with the giant octopus in there. And it really does look better on its 360 counterpart.
Yes,
we'll get to
much.
that. And there is the King's Court, which is the King's home field, which is really bright, kind of almost a Vegas casino.
Yeah, it looks like a pinball machine.
Yeah, it's
kinda.
really, really nice. The next game in the King Game series is Pocket Bike Racer, which is more of your typical motocross slash
Mario
Twisted
Kart.
Metal slash Mario
I think
Kart.
it was mostly like a Mario Kart clone.
Yeah, it has, I think, the best title card or the best
Oh,
opening.
That is incredible.
The ridiculous King just riding his pocket bike through all these different
Green
backdrops.
screen.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a jet ski, and then he's up in the air.
Right, it's really funny.
There's also a single, a multiplayer, and a create a character in quotes
it's exactly
mode.
the same as the big
Yeah.
Bumpin character.
There's 5 levels in this, 5 event / modes. Little pro tip for this game: you hold A to power slide / win. If you don't use that,
win.
yeah, you don't win.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, the power slide in Mario Kart.
Yeah. As the game goes along, how it plays is that the cones, well, depending on what mode you're playing, the cones give you points for a weapon
Right,
bar.
they fill up a meter on your right side, and every certain amount of meter you get, you unlock a different weapon to use. And you can cycle through those weapons that you have unlocked, basically.
However, the bar also acts as a dual nature with a speed boost. So you can choose to either use that bar to get a little boost to get ahead of the competition, or to knock them out in some way so you can also get ahead of the competition.
Right. It's less random than Mario Kart. You don't pick up a random weapon, you just try to build up
Yeah.
your meter to get the weapon you want to get.
There are different colors that each one of the lines have. So you can, if you cross a white line, you're going to get a bigger boost than you would a red line.
Right. But those are usually harder to get, more out of the way, or
More
thinner.
narrow,
Right.
yeah, to get through. Each one of these maps in the game require understanding where the shortcuts are.
Yes.
If you want to get through, this AI can be really crazy. So you want to find the hidden cave in the Chicken Bacon Ranch level, or the little shortcut in the Burger King parking lot. Let's talk a little bit about the levels. There are 5 different levels, like in the previous game.
Yeah.
There's the Burger King parking lot, which has a ton of grease stains
It's like
everywhere.
a Burger King parking lot with some cones set up.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
There's the construction yard, which I find is really cool.
It's
It reminds
pretty
me
cool.
of Revolt or something. There's a lot of ramps, a lot of big jumps. That's the kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Going through the pipe
It's definitely
is...
the most complex of all the levels. Hairpin turns, you can fall off the track really easily.
Yeah,
It's-
but if you fall off the track, it'll pick you up and reset you. There's also the backyard level,
Yeah.
which is a little more like your kind of jet moto / motocross
yeah,
game.
that is funny. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds you of Jet.
There's big dirt ramps, broken fences. There's a pool that the AI always loves to get stuck in. There's the King's Mansion, which is a little bit more 90-degree turns.
Yes.
Like you have to make everything's
through, like, a
squared
garden.
off. Yeah. There's a hedge maze. There's like stairs, but everything just kind of feels squared off and clunky,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel like the most complete map. And then the last but most worthy of the maps of all,
Yes.
the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch Fantasy Ranch
Chicken
level.
Bacon Ranch.
Chicken Bacon Ranch?
I think so.
Whatever, man. I'll still eat it. This actually was inspired by the commercial starring Hootie, and there was a little song that went with it.
As the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch.
And they actually play a medley of that
Yes.
without the vocals, sadly. You know what would make this game 100 times better? Unlockable Hootie. I would love... Yeah, either that or him just
Well,
pop
you can
out.
play your own music on the 360, so just play that track, pop that track in.
But it's really awesome. There's giant burgers, tomatoes. There's a hidden horror cave.
Yeah, I know,
It looks
right?
like there's strawberry milkshakes everywhere, but I don't think they even serve strawberry milkshakes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty cool map, though.
Yeah, and there's an old rickety bridge you gotta find to go across. It's definitely one of the most creative maps, and it very well represents the humor of this game.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the music in these levels.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, in the neighborhood in the construction zone, there's an amazing rancid, like, surfer punk type of
Yeah.
music. Like, how did this get in this game?
Right,
It's
yeah.
really catchy
No, yeah,
and
the music
fun.
in these games is surprisingly good.
And it seems to me that, like, I wouldn't say they go to waste, because these games are pretty good, but I'm just saying that you don't really expect these quality tunes here. You got the tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch
Right.
theme.
You just expect like some royalty-free stock MIDI music
Yeah.
or something.
Which would be fine on its own, but they kind of went out of their way for this one.
Yes.
So there are many different modes in this game, one of which is the most basic standard, which is you make it to the finish line while trying to knock out your other players with the power-ups along the way.
But standard race like Mario Kart. Then
Yeah.
there's the hardcore race where it just takes
Yeah,
power-ups out.
they take the power-ups out. So if
Just
you
racing.
want, just a standard fair type of race, it's a little bit more boring and a little bit harder because some of the AI is just geared to go straight to the finish line. So if you can't knock them out, it's kind of hard. There's also the Battle Royale mode, which is more like the battle mode in Mario Kart or
Right, but
Twisted
you
Metal.
don't have any arenas. You're just on the tracks, and the AI just kind of gets confused.
Yeah,
They drive
and
back.
the problem with this mode is that you have the same basic maps, no modifications were made, so you still have the same layout, the same cones you have to travel through. So it leads the AI to continue to race like it's like an actual race,
Sometimes they just turn around.
but sometimes they'll turn around or they
They
did
try to do the track in reverse, but sometimes there's barriers keeping them from going reverse, and they just get stuck.
and they group up in one place. So one of the easiest way to win this mode is that you just build up your power bar and then use the level 1 shield to knock out these guys. You can get multiple hits per one
Right,
shield.
you can get 3 or 4 hits with one shield.
But if you're playing on Xbox Live or with friends, it would actually be pretty fun. However, what they need to do is just take out some of the textures, take out some of the houses, and then just cut off the track. Make it a loop.
You can already leave the track because you can ramp outside the world. Just
Yeah.
make it able to do that.
Yeah.
Open up the levels a little bit.
But other than that, I mean, it seems like it could be really fun if you're playing with humans.
With humans, yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the power-ups. In the game, there's the power-up bar, as we mentioned, but there are multiple different types of power-ups. There's the shield, which has a little shield around your body. It's kind of like the star a little
Yeah,
bit
a little bit.
from
You don't get the
Mario
speed
Kart.
boost.
You don't get a speed boost. There's the missile, or excuse me, the firework,
Yeah,
which
bottle
is
rocket.
like the heat missile from Twisted Metal.
Very slight homing.
A tiny bit, and it'll knock and make the other car spin out. The firecracker, which is kind of like the banana, you leave it down and somebody spins out on it. The homing missile, which is the more improved bottle rocket. The flashbang, which you throw it and then it blinds whatever the player.
I've noticed the AI, either they do nothing different or they just completely stop when that's
Yeah.
used. So I don't know. The AI
Gives you a slight advantage.
Yeah.
And then there's the final one, the electric reversal ball, which essentially just screws up your
Yeah, it
controls.
reverses left is right, right is left kind of thing. But it seems kind of underpowered for having to wait that long to use it, and the AI doesn't really care.
Yeah, and you should better use your power bar to stock up on the shield or bottle rockets.
Yeah, shield, bottle rockets, and boosts I think are the most important. Anything above that's kind of not really useful that much.
There's some cool little features about this game. For instance, you can change your camera to many different perspectives, one of which is a first person.
Yeah.
There's also a little Grand Theft Auto-like feature that tells you your longest wheelie or your biggest jump. All right, are you ready for this one? This is possibly the most controversial /
Controversial.
popular. Well, it is. It's controversial because it's super creepy. Stalking simulator.
Yeah, it's a neat idea, but it honestly is kind of boring.
Well, alright, so in this intro, it captures essentially the entire essence of this game.
Yes.
The king sneaks around. This is what the whole commercials are based around. This is the whole persona.
Yes.
So this is where the king gets to be the king, which may be a good thing if you're into sneaking around people giving a Burger King, but for the rest of us, the premise gets weird, too thin.
Yeah, it's like
pretty
a
easily.
poor man's Metal Gear Solid.
But there is also a sneaking suit that we haven't unlocked, so
Right.
maybe it's the sneaking suit like Metal Gear. Maybe you get Snake's sneaking suit.
Yes.
Or active camo.
Right. If we ever get back to this game and beat it 100%, we'll put that footage in.
One day, by request only. So you start out in the lumberjack mill where there's a bunch of hungry lumberjacks and the king. The king's just there, and he happens to have a whole sack full of Burger King that he's gonna bestow upon these hypoglycemic people.
breakfast.
Let me tell you something about the people in these games. They all fall asleep if they don't get their Burger King.
In about a minute.
Yeah, so you have very limited time. One of the things you have to do is you find these morning papers that are floating around, and each one has a mission objective. And these objectives are give three people
most
food.
of them are just give X people food.
Or get a certain amount of score without getting caught. The score is determined by how well you can deliver the Burger King products without being seen. So there are 4 different things that determine your score. So like the hunger of the person, if they're in the green, they're just kind of hungry. If they're in the white, flashing, they're like, I'm getting hungry. In the red, I'm about to fall asleep, give me some food. But if you get them in that red, that's the sweet spot, you get a 4x multiplier. Then you have Flourish, which is the Tiger Woods golf
There's a
bar.
little mini game,
Yeah.
quick time event.
So you hit A, and when the bar's at its peak, that's the max Flourish.
It's pretty easy to get.
And there's like 3 different animations you can get. And the range, how close you are, like if you're basically touching their back, you're gonna get the 4 times
Right.
multiplier. And then Chain is how many subsequent people you've been able to, or
Without getting seen.
So whenever you enter one of these missions, you automatically enter sneaking mode, so the king automatically walks around. However, if you start to run as the king, there's an actual sound meter right next to the map icon there that will determine if you can be heard. One thing to mention about this game is this is the only King game with an actual storyline. There is a purpose, and the only purpose is there are hungry people, and the king has to sneak up on them and give them food. There are 4 different levels, 2 of which we've been able to unlock for this play. One of the best features about this game is the creep mode, which is a first-person perspective from inside the mask of the Burger King. So we've talked about all the Xbox regular versions of these games, but let's talk about the Xbox 360 enhancements. One of the coolest features, as we mentioned, is that you're able to play these on the Xbox 360 and the Xbox regular system, respectively. Some of the differences across all 3 games include just Xbox Live enhancements, graphics, achievements. So we're just going to go through and mention a brief few things that the Xbox 360 version changes. So in Sneak King, there isn't anything that really directly hits you in the face. It's just bloom, shading.
It's in high definition,
Yeah.
everything's upscaled.
The character models look a little bit better. Moving on, the Xbox 360 of Big Bumpin' seems to have made the most drastic changes, or at least the most noticeable. We were really excited when we started off here because we noticed it had an Xbox Live arcade mode, so we were going to show some of the multiplayer. But the moment we saw that there were 2 people playing, we tried to get in the game and it locked us out. So you have to join before they start up a game. You can't just drop in. So if you want to get together an Xbox Live King game night, we'll set something up. We'd love to play and get those achievements, because all the achievements, or at least the majority of them, are tied to Xbox Live. So, as we mentioned, the most noticeable improvement in this game are the graphics per stage. The final one we observed was Pocket Bike Racer, and like Sneak King, there wasn't too many differences here to point out. Once again, we found that there were no Xbox Live players playing this game.
So surprised.
We were so surprised. No, so disappointed, more like it. I would have loved to play this game with actual humans, because the AI is really finicky on this game, no matter which version you play. And for some reason, we noted that the game feels faster, but
At least
it
feels smoother.
Yeah, and that probably has something to do with the processor. It's, microchips and stuff. So there you have it. The King Games from the King Game reviewers.
Yeah, we were meant to review these games.
Yeah, it was destiny. It was fate.
destiny.
It was something.
It only took us until partway into season 2.
Yeah, I know.
Years later, but
But we're getting better, we hope.
yeah.
But anyway, we thought we'd just do a little ranking of how we found, like, what our favorite game was. If you listen to the review, you probably already know by now. But we have to give the top spot to Big Bumpin'.
It's a fun party game. It's fun, by yourself. Has decent graphics still.
Yeah.
It has a lot of variety because you're not doing the same thing all the time. There's a lot of different mini games.
I think I have to throw it a little bit to nostalgia's sake, because I did play this with actual people, and we did play it for about an hour or two, which is a lot from a little bargain bin game like this. You can pick this game up for only about $1 or $2 right now at GameStop in 2012 time. But the gameplay, definitely smooth, tight controls, a lot of fun, variety of game modes. definitely gonna give to this. Our second game has to go to Pocket Bike Racer, and it's not because of Brooke Burke. We did a little research on her. We don't know. Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I kind of watched that once.
I don't know.
Anyway, but we think it's pretty
Especially
good.
multiplayer, you'd get some fun out of this game for a while.
I mean, it's too late for it now, but I mean, if they would have tightened up some of the
there's split
tracks,
screen.
yeah. Well, yeah, you can split screen it, co-op.
People 4 players.
This
too.
says online multiplayer 2 to 8 people,
Oh.
but local only 4. So
Well, still it's 4 players.
yeah,
That's good.
it's pretty good. It reminds us of Mario Kart, a little bit
Yeah.
of Twisted Metal kind of thrown in there. Pretty solid game. You'd still have a lot of fun. Probably not as much like trying to invite your bros over to play it. You'd have better luck with Big Bumpin'.
I agree.
And the last one, but I mean, it's not the worst game, but it's not the best game.
No, you'll definitely get bored of this.
Sneak
pretty
King
easily.
was the game that I actually, this is what got me into the King series. Like, I heard about this, like, this is ridiculous.
That's
like,
definitely the one that I wanted to try out the most.
yeah, I think this best represents what the King is all about.
Yes.
But I think at the same time, like, they could have expanded a little bit more on how
Right. The
well
gameplay is so simplistic. You do the same thing over and over and over.
I
again.
think if they would have had traps or something, like you could like set up like little burgers laying out
Yeah.
or something, come back and just scare people. Or
Right.
But this is on my bucket list. I think I'm gonna beat this game before I die.
Well, good luck.
Good
with that.
luck. So maybe we'll
Like,
do a let's play.
A
one day.
rank everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh god. Maybe not. But anyway, thank you for our first analysis. We hoped you like it. Maybe we might do some more.
Yeah.
But
Just for like games we feel like doing, not every game.
They take a little bit more time in the oven, so, David, let's see, we're filming this right now at the end of December, so this might come up in January. So, happy 2013! First King Game review of 2013.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, we survived the Mayan calendar, and so did the Burger King games.
Proof that they're quality.
Quality games.
Alright, that's recording. Gun game review.
In this game, I always lose.
Always? Never always.
How do you win in this game?
What do you mean?
You just don't move?
It's the easiest game. He's half your size. Wonder what oh, there's a game. Oh, Reckless is in my Xbox.
The Yakuza missions?
Hey, you turd.
Both in nature and in smell. Watch out, super gun, super gun, super gun.
Hey. Why is this recording so loud? What is it recording from?
Is it from the mic?
Yeah, it says from the mic. There's like crazy loud noises. Let's see. That.
Jeez. Did anything come loose whenever the mic fell?
Well, it's working fine now, it looks like.
Okay.
Like, yeah. They're just freaking out apparently. Alright, well. Sure this is still aiming at us generally. Yeah.
We'll record the intro after. Let's just start like playing the games and then we'll come up with the intro.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be the easiest way.